The origin story of Batman continues.
約束された未来も地位も何もかも捨てた。
I threw away my promised future and position.
私が望むのは理不尽に居場所を追い出された彼女へ新たな幸福を与えてあげること。
What I sought was to offer a new form of happiness to the woman who had unreasonably lost her place.
大事な大事な私の友よ。
My dear, dear friend,
私のこの地はあなたへの友情と忠誠に捧げよう。
I will offer my wisdom and loyalty for our friendship. A few days had passed. The appearance of Barreau was reported immediately to the royal guard and the royal family, but they didn't do shit. They hadn't given any specific orders, so Adolf and the others were frustrated, unable to take much action. As for me, the bandage wrapped around my head was slowly being removed.
念のためにと数日入院してもらったが、頭の骨に異常はない。
My advice would be for you to stay for a few more days, but at the very least, I can confirm that your head and skull are sound.
退院しても構わないよ。痛み止めだけは出しておくから、我慢できない時に飲むように。
So you're free to leave. I'll prescribe some painkillers, so take them if you experience headaches. Understood. Thank you very much for your help, Doctor.
何？これもかつて事件に協力したよしみさ。
Come now. We've known each other since those incidents. We've shared an off-screen cappuccino with each other. He went on to say that I probably shouldn't see another doctor since the royal family hadn't publicly announced what happened. Dr. Capuchin continued to speak in a calm manner as he recalled the incident that threw the country into chaos.
それにしても、あの殺人鬼に殴られたというのに、この程度の怪我で済むとは。
I must say, I'm surprised you got away with only a bruise after being hit by a murderer.
運がいいのか悪いのか、わからないな。
I can't tell if you were lucky or not, to be honest. He was wrong. The reason why I'm still alive is because it wasn't Barreau who struck me. I didn't remember clearly, but I had to understand my situation. Mathis was intent on going after Barreau, so he struck me in the head, then disappeared. But it seemed like he hadn't returned to the Claude family mansion at all. Yves and Adolf seemed to have a hunch as to who actually hit me, but I kept quiet on the matter, so they respected my silence and didn't say anything. I'm not angry or holding a grudge about being hit. His brother's killer, who we thought was dead, had returned. A sister was killed in front of her younger brother. I knew how Mathis felt about his brother and how he respected him, which was why I couldn't blame him for going mad with rage when he saw his own pass through what happened. Still,
お前なんかに俺の復讐を邪魔する権利はない。この死神風情が。
I was very confused by how Mathis yelled, and even looked a little different, even looked like a different person.
無事に退院されたのですね。大きな怪我がなかったようで
安心しました。
I see I've left the hospital. I'm very relieved that you are well.
我が主が本当に申し訳ありません。
That's sad. I am truly sorry for what the master had done. What do you mean? I don't remember anything about what happened when I was hurt. I have no idea what you mean, Jean. Play along. Seeing me force out a smile, Jean quietly lowered his head. Besides, I'm actually more worried about you, Jean. You look pale. From the looks of it, you probably haven't slept in a long while. Perhaps you should get some rest.
なりません。坊ちゃんがいつ戻られるかわからない以上。
Absolutely not. After all, I do not know when the master will be back.
俺はクロード家の執事としてあのお方の帰りを待っていなくては。
As the Claude family butler, I must wait until the master returns. If that's the case, then let me keep watch on you while you get some rest.
そんな散々ご迷惑をおかけしているというのに、そんなことまでさせるわけには。
Sleep! Please, we have caused enough trouble to you already. So any more is simply too much. But at this rate, you're going to collapse before Mathis returns, Jean. Imagine what would happen if Mathis saw you unconscious. You blame yourself enough for not being fit to be a butler, don't you? I haven't submitted my resignation, so I'm still your workmate and friend. If you need help, please let me be of assistance.
本当に坊ちゃんは良いお友達を作られましたね。
The master has really found a wonderful friend indeed.
ありがとうございます。それではお言葉に甘えて少しだけ。
Thank you very much. If you don't mind then, I will accept your offer. I watched as Jean walked into his room, collapsed on the bed and immediately fell asleep. I let out a quiet sigh. I told him he should rest, but I'm the one who brought misfortune into his place. To be honest, I was planning on leaving after checking on the situation here, but I was so worried of the two of them that I ended up involving myself even more. Mathis, where are you? Your other brother is so worried about you. I changed into my maid uniform and went around the mansion to see if there were any clothes chores to be done. Apart from some light dust here and there, I didn't sense much that needed to be done, especially after seeing enough food in the storage. I sat alone in the guest room, sipping some tea to pass the time. I thought of cleaning the place a bit, but it would defeat the purpose if Jean woke up from any noise I made. I never knew this mansion could be so quiet. This hour is usually much busier. I would usually be enjoying lunch with Jean and Mathis around now. Not that we were a very lively bunch. Sometimes I'd get quiet while we eat, but he would then mumble to himself about how good the food tasted. But not hearing his praise now, I never knew how lonely it could be here. I didn't have it in me to pass the time idly in the guest room. With no real objective, I went inside Mathis's room. Maybe it was from the room being empty for a few days, but the light shining inside was making the dust in the air sparkle. His study tools were there, and his pens were completely dry. Ah. I then looked at the writing paper strewn about the floor. I randomly picked up one of the sheets. It must have been written on recently, as the last sentence was still incomplete. He was probably having fun writing this. Just when Mathis finally begun to move forward in his life too. Why did Barreau come back now? It may have been the first time I had ever held a grudge against someone. I should talk to Mathis about this newly written portion of the story when he returns. I held my breath the moment I felt something cold touch my cheek. Neck.
なんだ、お前か。
Oh, it's you. Mathis? The person I was thinking about had returned. He appeared silently with a knife brandished against my neck. As strange as it sounded, being able to see him made me more happy than afraid. Oh, welcome back. Where have you been all this time? Jean and everyone else was really worried about you. More importantly, are you hurt? Don't tell me you fought Barreau by yourself.
うるさいな。
Shut up. Huh? Disgruntled, he put his knife away and began rummaging through his desk drawer. Without another word. Though confused, I continued talking to him. It's almost like he has enough of a personality. Oh, you won't be stepping out again, will you?
は？ブローを取り逃したのに戻るわけないだろ。
The row's still out there, so of course I'm gonna be leaving.
ナイフが一本折れたから予備の分を取りに来ただけ。
One of my knives broke, so I came to get a spare. Yes, spares? Huh? He continued to look inside his desk and carelessly stepped on his writing papers on the floor. What are you doing? Aren't those part of the novel you were writing? Why are you stepping on?
こんな紙切れ、僕の復讐には何の役にも立たない。
Papers won't help me exact my revenge.
後で全部捨てておいて。机の上を占領しているからすごく邪魔なんだ。
Throw them away. They're taking up too much space on my desk. What? With that, he purposefully trampled on the story. But I don't... Okay. I want my child back. I almost want to force him to stop, but at the same time, he kind of has a knife right now. And he's not exactly in his right mind. So maybe actually physically touching him is not the best idea. But maybe by doing that, he would like cut us. But him seeing us bleed would bring him back. I'll try it. I hope that's a good thing. But what if it isn't? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that thing means. Stop! I instinctively reacted, shoving Mathis away and picking up the papers from the floor. Most of them were seized with footprints on them, but fortunately none of them were torn.
何の真似だ?
What was that about? Unlike the Mathis I knew, he looked down at me with unbelievably cold eyes. I couldn't let him intimidate me. This is your most precious treasure. Even you don't have the right to trample on it like this. I glared at Mathis as I embraced the papers in my arms. Please stop already. I held the wrinkled papers close to my chest, as if I were protecting my child. Mathis, you're mistreating your love and your talent for novels, which you share with your brother. You're trampling on yourself right now. Are you so fixated on revenge that you can't even see what you're doing? Or do you think taking your anger out on this will help you with your vengeance? Without a word, he pounded the desk with his fist. He pounded the desk over and over again, as if he was trying to overcome me with sound.
偽善者ぶるのもうやめてくれない?
Stop acting like some saints, will you?
僕の復讐を止める権利はないなんて言っておいて何度も何度も僕の邪魔をして
You don't have the right to stop me from getting revenge. You're always getting in the way.
結局自分を死神だなんて皮肉っているくせに
You keep saying that you're supposed to be death, but
本当に大切な人を一人も失っていないお前には
you haven't lost a single
僕の
person
気
dear
持
to
ち
you.
なんて何一つわからない
There's no way you'd understand how I feel. Not one bit. He raised his fist to strike me from above. Jean, he's woken up. Yeah. There's no way he would wait. He would not wake up from that. Master, what in the world are you doing? A shout resounded through the room. Before trying to understand the situation, Jean quickly moved to stop his master. He sternly slapped Mathis right across the cheek. Jean?
ジョンいい加減にしなさいマティス・クロード
You need to stop right now, Mathis Claude.
今のあなたはあなたを虐げていたご両親と全く同じことをしていますよ
What you're doing right now is no different from what your parents did to you. Hearing his words, Mathis's eyes swam in confusion.
同じ僕とあの人たちが
It's for his own good, Shoko. It's for his own good. No difference. Me? Them?
このグズメ何度言えば私の言った通りに学習できる
ああもうこれ以上私を苛立たせないでどうして普通に喋ることができないの
違う。僕、ただ
No, I was just...
兄さんの敵を討つのに邪魔なものを振り払おうとしただけって。
I was just trying to move what was getting in the way of avenging my brother.
邪魔なもの、彼女が
I'm
ですか。
offended. Getting in the way? You mean her? The moment I met Mathis's quivering eyes,
たくさんの愛が詰まっているこの本は、優しいあなたにぴったりのものだと思います。
That was sweet of him.
僕はもう取り戻せない過去よりも、あなたと共に過ごす今が一番幸せ。
We need to give him a hug. That's what we need to do. He's having a tough time.
さい、
The power of a hug.
お前なんかに俺の復讐を邪魔する権利はない。この死神風情が。
But still... unnecessary. How dare you call me death? It was as if he completely forgot what he said and did before. Mathis suddenly went pale in the face.
なんで日和にもよってセレスさんにあんなひどいこと。
Why? I did that to Ceres of all people?
死神だなんて
Dead.
思ったことないのに。
I called her death? I've never seen her as death before. Mathis held his hands in his head as he kept denying what he said in the mad frenzy. He suddenly fell into an uncontrollable state before curling up on the cold floor. At least fell on the bed. Mathis!
俺が坊ちゃんをベッドまで運びます。厨房からお水を汲んできてください。
I will take the master to bed. Please get some water from the kitchen. Okay. I mean, you know, that first part of the sentence, one could take a certain way. A few minutes later. Mathis's cheeks were still flushed red as he slept. I gently moved his hair away and placed my hand on his damp forehead. His fever is pretty bad.
坊ちゃんの様子がおかしかったのは熱のせいだったのでしょうか。
Perhaps the master was acting so unreasonably because of the fever. I'm not sure. I've seen some of the children back at the orphanage suffer from high fevers, but Mathis's actions and words earlier weren't the same. In his case, it was like his whole personality changed. I've never seen or heard anything like it before.
ですが俺は坊ちゃんが神優との絆を自らの意志で踏みにじったなど信じたくはありません。
Regardless, I do not want to believe that the master trampled on his bond with Camille of his own free will. I didn't want to believe it either. But there was no way of knowing for certain until he woke up. I was also worried about Mathis, and wanted to prioritize tending to him before thinking about what to ask later. I'm sorry, this will be a little cold. I gently placed a damp, cold towel on top of Mathis's head. Apart from his red cheeks, the rest of his skin was pale. It was obvious that he was struggling to control his temperature, and even the wet towel became very warm very quickly. That's not good. He would probably have to endure this pain until Jean returned from the doctor with some medicine to ease his fever. Nevertheless, I wanted to ease his burden. I kept changing the towel over and over again when... Thank goodness, you're back! I crouched to the floor and peered into Mathis's face. How do you feel? Do you feel like vomiting? Do we need to get a bucket?
いえ、平気です。
No, I'm fine. He seemed to be suffering badly from his fever, but his voice wasn't as sharp as before. I breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say it. What is with the CG? Why does it look a certain way? I was gonna stay quiet, but I can't. But he was still sharp enough to feel a sense of regret. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tears fell from his eyes. His warm tears fell into his pillow, leaving a wet trail.
僕、あなたになんてひどいことを。
I did so many horrible things to you.
なんであんな心にもないことをしちゃったんだろう。
Why? Why did I say and do those things I hadn't felt or thought of before?
あなたもあの小説も
You in the novel.
僕の何よりも大切な宝物のはずだったのに。
They're supposed to be my most precious treasures. He's going through it right now. I gently placed my hand on Mathis's moist cheek. I'm relieved to know that what you said and did back then wasn't intentional, Mathis. But I'm still offended. But first, I want you to focus on trying to reduce your fever. Jean should be back shortly with some medicine to help. I tried to excuse myself so he could rest in private, but he stopped me by tugging gently on my sleeve.
ダメです。今のうちにちゃんと聞いてください。
No. I want you to listen to what I have to say while I still have the chance.
明
Let's
日に
speak
ま
like you're
た
gonna die.
僕はまたあなたの前から姿を消すことになるので。
So I'm gonna take it as that he does have like a double personality or something. And the other one, hellbent on revenge, is taken over. First thing tomorrow, I will disappear from you for good. What? What do you mean? Aren't you going to rest here a bit longer, Mathis?
いいえ、
No.
僕はブローを殺すまで
I need to find and kill Burrow.
この屋敷で平穏に過ごすつもりは絶対にありません。
So I have no intention of returning or spending any time here until that's done.
一人であいつを追います。
I will go after him myself. That sounds like a horrible idea. But why?
僕が抱いた未来に向かって進もうとする前向きな気持ちは
Look, I'll just kill Burrow for you, okay? You stay here. I was able to look forward to a better future and started to move in that direction, but
あくまでブローが死んだからもう望みは果たせないという諦めから生まれたものだから。
And that's a good thing! That was only because I gave up on revenge against Burrow after he died.
それが覆ってしまった今、
But now that he's back,
僕は何よりも復讐の感情を優先してしま
no,
う。
you don't. Stop thinking you have to do things that you don't. I have to prioritize my desire for revenge.
本当は僕だって復讐よりもあなたとの穏やかな日常で生きていたい。
If I had a choice, I would like to live a peaceful life with you instead of seeking vengeance.
僕はあなたの笑顔のために小説を書くのが好きだ。
I was so happy writing that story and seeing you smile.
僕が生み出す一文字一文字を
With each word I wrote,
まるで生命の誕生のように喜び愛してくれる
you would rejoice and love what was
あ
being
なたの
written
ことが
as if life was being born.
苦しいくらい好き大好き
For,
だから
for that and more, I love you beyond everything else. But still,
この復讐心を何らかの形で消化しない限り
unless I somehow accomplish my revenge,
僕は前に進むことも終わりを迎えることもできない。
I can't move forward or live the rest of my life.
あなたとの時間を幸せと感じることすらできなくなる。
I'm not even able to enjoy the happy times I spend with you because of it.
それどころか
Even worse.
あのどす黒い感情に飲まれてまたあなたにひどいことをしてしまうかも。
Unless my vengeance is exacted, I might treat you horribly like before, losing control of the dark emotions I feel. Which was why he needed to kill. Mathis said so as he roughly dried his tears with his sleeve.
ここまで言ってもあなたは復讐をやめろとは言わないんですね。
You're not going to tell me to stop my vengeance even after hearing that, are you? Honestly, I want to stop you. After all, you're putting yourself in harm's way. But before that, I can't forgive myself for bringing misfortune into your new life. And I'm also someone who people want to kill out of vengeance. Mathis, I'm death, remember? There were many who hated death for bringing about the demise of others. Considering that, it was nothing short of a miracle that I was still alive.
そんなあなたの件は迷信を元にしたただの言いがかりじゃないですか。
But that's just a rumor, and people are only accusing you of what happened. I'm a murderer to anyone who believes I am. Which is why I don't really have the right to discourage your revenge. But there is one thing that bothers me. If you are successful in your revenge, what are you going to do after that, Mathis? Mathis let out a fevered sigh.
もちろん罪を償うつもりです。
あ
たとえブローが相手だろうと、殺人は殺人ですから。
Of course, I'll pay for my sins. After all, even if it is Burrow, I'll be a murderer regardless. I closed my eyes and sighed, then opened them. I see. I held back my tears and forced a smile. No matter the ending, I guess it'll be a while before I can read the rest of your book. He blinked his eyes, moistened with heat. I was committed to being the first person to read your novel. But you're gonna go after Burrow and disappear from me. So even if you do kill Burrow, and even if you do make amends, or even if you do reach some kind of end, I will be waiting for you to return in the hopes that you will complete your novel, Master Claude. Until then, I could study that other language using the book of poems and the materials to lend me. That way, when he returns, we could read all sorts of books together.
あなたはいつもそうだ。
You've always been like this.
過去にすがりついて成長することができない愚かな僕を。
I can't seem to grow up because I'm foolish enough to strap myself to what happened in the past, but
心配はしても否定はしないでくれる。
You worry about, but don't deny what I'm doing.
いっそ好きにすればいいと呆れてくれればいいのに。
It would be far easier for the both of us if you just shrugged and told me to do what I please. You're the one not giving me that option, Mathis.
どんな相手だろうとわざと一人ぼっちにするような意地悪だけはしちゃダメだと。小さい頃兄さんにそう教わりましたから。
I never do anything to isolate a person, Ceres. That was what my brother told me
寂しいのは
when I was little. And I don't like
嫌いで
being
す。
lonely either. Moving forward, no matter what horrible words were thrown at him for the path of vengeance he chose. So long as he remembered what he was told, I would always trust what Mathis said or did with confidence. For the record, I don't intend on simply doing nothing. To be honest, I don't want you to go after that killer alone.
それはできません。
I can't agree with that.
以前のように捕まえることが目的のイブさんたちと一緒に行動すれば。
Assuming I was to work with Yves and everyone like that, like before, we would end up going after him to capture him. Okay, he doesn't point there. He doesn't point there. He wants to kill him, not capture.
僕が奴を殺せる可能性が減ってしまいます。
What that means is that they will get in my way of killing him myself. I understand. Which is why I decided. Mathis, I will do my very best. I will give everything I have to beat you to it.
Huh?
We're playing the Who Can Kill Barreau first game. She watched over me until sunset, and I sank into my bed until I watched her leave for the room. Thanks to the coolness of the bed sheets wrapped around me, I was slowly able to think clearly again. Before she left, she proposed a deal with me. I will let Adolf and the others know not to get in the way of your revenge. In turn, I want you to allow us to go after Barreau in our own way. In other words,
僕が無謀に挑む前に宣言通り出し抜いてブローを先に捕まえるつもりなんだ。
she's seriously planning on beating me by capturing Barreau before I can fight him. I had never seen a girl as bold or strong as her before.
別行動が確実で妨害されないと分かっていれば。
As long as they're not going to interfere with my plans, then.
この屋敷に引き続き拠点として留まることができる。
I can stay here and use my mansion as a base of operations. I would like that. I don't want you out in the streets, please. Honestly, this was good news for me. I was planning on finding a place to sleep outside, thinking that she and Jean would try to stop me. It was hard to imagine myself sleeping on the streets as someone who lived my whole life in ch3。
ブローの資料やナイフを手入れするための道具も運び出せる量じゃないし。
To add, it would have been a pain to try and carry around all my spare knives and materials about Burrow. I wasn't expecting him to have spare knives, I'm not gonna lie. That said, I needed to adjust the time I was here to avoid seeing Cerez or Jean.
でも彼女を危険な目に遭わせないためにも
I have to make sure she isn't in danger.
彼女たちよりも早く僕が奴を殺さな
I
きゃ。
need to kill him before she gets to him.
そういえば勢いで大好きなんて言っちゃっ
You
たけど
did! Now that I think about it, I told her back then I love her, but
彼女あの言葉をどういう意味で受け取ってくれたの
I wonder
かな。
in what way she took those words that I said. I wanted to think a bit longer about her, but I could tell my mind was getting drowsy. The wall clock on the first floor chimed at 10 o'clock. In that moment, I felt like someone was forcing my eyelids to close. And out comes crazy Mathis. Never, it's like... So it's like his alternate personality has a time schedule. And just like that, my mind turned off and was swallowed whole by darkness. Who knew his crazy Mathis had a time schedule? It's like Cinderella. I went back to the first floor to let Jean know what I talked about with Mathis.
復讐そのものはやはり止められませんでしたか。
So you weren't able to stop him from going after Burrow.
ですが坊ちゃんがまた我を失い姿を消す前にあなたが例の条件を出してくれて助かりました。
But I'm very glad you were able to put forth such a condition before the master disappeared again.
別行動をしようとも必ず夜には戻ってきてくださると分かっていればこちらも安心できますからね。
After all, it is a relief to know that he will return here at night, regardless of his activities.
まあブローが完全に死んでいてくれれば。
I suppose things will be resolved if Burrow is killed for good this time.
このような悩みもなく坊ちゃんもあなたとの幸福な未来をつかみ取れたというのに。
That alone would not only rid of all our worries, but also ensure a happy future for the master with you by his side. Are you including me in his happy future?
俺は恋の気配には敏感なもので。
I have a knack for sensing love in the air.
とからかいたいところではありますが、それは事件がすべて解決してからにしましょう。
Well, I would love to tease you a bit more, but I believe that can wait until everything has been resolved.
ロザリー、どうか坊ちゃんと彼女を見守っていてくれ。
Rosalie, please watch over her and the master. She's dead, isn't she? He gave his prayer to his lover as he held that pendant I saw before with a picture inside. The cover was broken back then, so I wasn't able to see the picture clearly. But Oh. She has the same hair color as me?
ええ、とても綺麗でしょ。
Yes. Isn't she beautiful?
彼女もこの美しい髪を誇りにしていて、毎日の手入れを欠かさなかったんです。
She was proud of her beautiful hair. Something to be tended to without a day going by without.
懐かしいな。整えたばかりの髪を指先ですいたら、
It feels like yesterday that I would comb through her perfect hair with my fingers.
もうやり直しじゃないと叱られましたっけ。
And she would scold me, saying she needed to fix it again. Jean talked about her with pure love, but... Is it just me? No, it's not. His memories were definitely filled with love and joy, but... The way he was expressing himself felt a bit strange. Ah!
本当によかった。
Thank goodness you're safe.
どうかもう二度とこのようなことはしないでください。
You never noticed? Please never do that again, I beg of you.
坊ちゃんにもしものことがあったら、
If anything were to happen to you, Master,
俺にはもうこの世で生きていく理由がありません。
I would lose every reason to continue living. I just have a thought. I think this girl is actually Mathis's mother. Thinking about it again. I wondered why Jean said those things before. Didn't he have someone he wanted to share his future with? And if not, either way, she's dead. He was speaking past tense. That wasn't all. Why hadn't I noticed sooner? Please watch over her and the master. Feels like yesterday. Scolded. He was talking about his lover, but... he was speaking in the past tense. Probably don't... I mean, I know we want to ask, but we probably shouldn't ask. Jean? You're not able to see her now, are you? Well, at least we didn't straight out ask. She's dead, isn't she? I asked my question, hoping to ease the strange feeling inside me, but...
まあ、今の独り言聞かれてしまいましたか。
You heard me talking to myself, I see.
すみません。あなたが察していた通り、俺はほんの少し嘘をついていました。
I feel bad saying this, but at the same time, on the bright side, he's still single now, yay! I'm so horrible. I am very sorry. As you may have sensed, I did lie to you a bit.
俺の恋人、ロザリーとは
My love of Rosalie.
二度と会うことができません。
I cannot see her again, ever.
数年前、とある人物にむごたらしく殺されてしまったから。
A few years ago, she was brutally murdered by a certain person. I could only stare in surprise. He had been smiling so happily, talking about his future with his lover. But what he spoke about was something that could never come true.
実はこの写真は彼女が息を引き取った直後に遺体を撮影したものなんです。
The picture you see here was taken just before she passed away.
だからシアン様はこの写真を悪趣味だとそう言ったのでしょう。
Which is why Monsieur Broflies said that I have horrible taste, or so I believe.
あの一瞬で彼女が死者だと見抜くとは、さすが素晴らしい目をお持ちだ。
I have to admit, he truly is a genius for his ability to understand this picture with just a glance. I looked closer at the beautiful woman in the lockets. She had her arms crossed across her chest, and her eyes were closed as if she were sound asleep.
もちろん彼女をリライバーとして蘇らせることも考えました。
Of course, I did think about reviving her as a reliver.
ですが以前話した通り、私たちはお互いへの愛を失わないため、リライバーになることを拒否した身。
But as I mentioned before, we were both committed to not becoming relivers, so that we won't lose our love.
故にバックアップなど取っているはずがなかった。
As such, she does not have a backup. So no matter how much he loved her,
彼女を永遠に失うことを受け入れるしかなかったのです。
which is why my only option was to accept that I had lost her forever. I have a feeling Mathis doesn't. Does Mathis know about this? He quietly shook his head.
俺と彼女の結婚を心から楽しみにしている坊ちゃんには、
The master is sincerely happy about our engagement.
どうしても伝えることができなくて。なのでどうかあなたも黙っていてください。
It's like he's listening from the hallway. I cannot possibly tell him the situation now. So will you please keep it a secret from him?
約束してくだされば、俺もブローを捕らえる計画に喜んで協力しましょう。
If you promise me this, I will gladly help you with capturing Baru. I promise. Even if I wanted to tell this secret, there was no way I could bring it up to the way things were now. But I still can't imagine what was going on through Jean's mind when he spoke about his now lost lover. He said she was brutally murdered, but... was she killed by Baru? I was thinking that too. If so, wouldn't he want revenge as well? I couldn't let him run free and take away another precious person from the Claude family. I was committed to being the first person to read your novel. But you're going after Baru and disappear from me. So even if you do kill Baru, and even if you do make amends, or even if you reach some kind of end, I will be waiting for you to return in hopes that you will complete your novel, Master Claude.
やっぱり
I knew it.
僕はセレスさんが好き。
I like...
大好き。
I love Ceres.
あなたは死神なんかじゃなくて
You aren't death at all.
マティス・クロードの物語に欠かせない素敵なお姫様。
You're an essential character in Mathis Claude's story. A beautiful princess. What the heck was that there? Looked like some freaky laboratory.
やあ、姫君。傷を負ったと聞いて見舞いに駆けつけたよ。
Hello, dear princess. I heard that you were injured, so I came to see you.
本来ならば心安らぐ花束の一つでも送るべきなのだろうが。
I would have liked to bring you a comfortable bouquet, but...
あいにくと私の住処には災いの花しか咲いていないものでね。期待していたのならすまない。
Unfortunately, I reside in a place where only the flowers of misfortune bloom. I'm sorry to let you down. I've already recovered from that injury.
おや、何やら機嫌が悪い？それとも何かを憂いているのかな？
Oh? You seem to be in a bad mood? Or perhaps you're worried about something. You must know what's on my mind, Uncle.
まるで私が常に君を監視しているような口ぶりだ。
You make it seem as though I'm always watching you. It had been a long time since we last met. He said he would watch me from the field of lycorises. It was as if he knew what was going to happen. He appeared in front of me the moment I stepped outside for some fresh air. Barreau has appeared again.
そのようだ。
So it seems. Anko, you warned me before, but you knew Barreau was still alive and kept the secret, didn't you?
ああ。彼の魂が冥界に運ばれた痕跡がなかったのでね。
Yes. I could not find any trace of his soul being carried to Hades.
ちなみに、夜に咲く美しき花々たちの魂の行く末も教えるわけにはいかない。
Let me add. I cannot tell you where the souls of the beautiful flowers that bloom in the night have gone. He's probably telling me to find out myself what happened to the prostitutes. I don't know why you can't tell me what you know, but when you tell me things like that, it's like you want me to provoke me.
我が同胞のすね顔はこの国に咲くいかなる花々よりも愛らしいね。
My partner's pouting face is far more adorable than any flower that blooms across this land.
その愛らしさに免じ、一つだけ助言をしてあげよう。
Out of respect for your loveliness, I will give you some advice.
今回の事件の鍵を握るのはおそらく、君が一時の主人として慕う、あの物書きの少年だ。
The key to the incident is likely the book. Loving young man that you once called master. Book-loving young man. You mean Mathis?
うん。彼の行動次第では、事件がに解決できる。
Yes. Depending on his actions, incident can be resolved at... It's not very useful if the actual important pieces are censored. Damn you, Destiny. Anko let out a deep sigh, slightly disgruntled that his words were obscured.
ゆえに、君が最善だと思う方法で、あの少年を支えてやりたまえ。
As such, I suggest that you support that young man in the way you believe is best.
と、私が助言するでもなく君はすでに行動へと移しているか。
Then again, it seems you're already supporting him without my advice.
いや、初めて出会った際は、すべてに怯える儚い少女だったというのに。
How things change. You were but a frail young maiden, trembling in fear when we first met.
いつの間にか男を支える立派な女性に成長したものだ。
But now you have grown into a fine young woman who supports the man she has chosen. After muttering that he was jealous, Anko disappeared. A week later, the Arpachel royal family placed a gag order on Barreau's existence to prevent chaos from breaking out amongst the citizens again. They did this before. Like, what the heck? Something's wrong, cover it up. That's their answer. After announcing that Barreau was dead, if everyone found out that he was still alive, the royal family would completely lose face. As only one person was killed, the royal family was planning on capturing and erasing Barreau's existence before rumors spread. At least that was what Jean thought, as he told me with a shrug. Excuse me. Mathis probably left early in the morning to gather information. I was assuming this because I didn't see him when I went to visit this morning. Jean stayed in ch3 to observe the Royal Guard's movements. I imagine Jean is still taking care of him, like probably leaving meals out in front of his door or on his desk for him, since I doubt they're making contact at the moment. As for me, I have become religious. I was at the corpse base to ask Adolf for help in going after Barreau. Wait, this is the corpse base? This looks like a church.
お前はまた勝手なことを。
You and your shenanigans. Adolf looked really frustrated when he learned I was putting myself in danger again, but he and many who knew Mathis were worried about him. So he finally gave in after hearing me say that I would handle things whether he helped me or not. Adolf then went to tell me that he and the usual crew were checking on Barreau. So regardless, he was planning on investigating behind the Royal Guard's back. He didn't wear his usual corpse uniform, so as not to draw any suspicious of the Royal Guard and Barreau.
知ってるどころか、顔見知りだろうが。
I'm not sure whether he knew her or was close to her, but
先日ブローに殺害された被害者はリライバーの娼婦だった。
what we do know is that Reliver Barreau recently killed a prostitute.
よって娼婦失踪事件にもリライバーとして蘇った奴が関与してると考えるべきだろうな。
Which means that the missing prostitutes are likely Barreau's doing. They were unsure how Barreau was able to revive as a Reliver without any data, but he somehow got into contact with Skian to review his records. Instead of investigating Barreau without any leads, we might learn more by looking into the missing woman.
なら同じ娼婦同士何か知ってないか片っ端から聞き込みにでも行くか。
Time to go to brothels. Well, I guess I can go around and ask the prostitutes around the area to see if they know anything.
失礼します。こちらにイブ君は。おや、
Churches are always pretty.
皆さんお揃いで。
I love the glass, the stained glass. I think stained glass is just gorgeous. Excuse me, I'm looking for your vase. Oh? What's going on here now?
給仕服ではないセレス君を見るのは久しぶりですね。
Oh, well, no, it's been a while since I saw you in something other than a maid's uniform, Ceres. And you know, now that I think about it, it's possible. Bro could be Lucas. Because if I'm right about there being two bros, well, I have to be, because one of them was covered and killed by acid, so... And it was only at the time that I wrote Lucas off as potentially being Bro, was because Lucas was there with us. But if that Bro was someone else, then, you know, it would make sense. It would make sense. But throw the suspicion off of him. I'm trying to think, were there any other scenes where Bro was at work and Lucas was there? I'm trying to remember. Because, I don't know, something about Lucas. Like, there was a scene where he was like... He was panicking because our hair got like trimmed or something, and it's not proper for a woman. But if he cared about like a woman's properness, sort of, or something like that, then like naturally he probably wouldn't think very highly of prostitutes, right? I don't know. Lucas.
俺に何か用事ですか？
You looking for me?
は
You looking at me?
い。ですが、何やら皆さん真剣な面持ちのようですし、出直した方が良いでしょうか。
Yes, but it seems like now is not the best time. Should I come back on another day? Lucas tilted his head with bewilderment as he was unaware that Barreau was still alive. There was still a gag order in place, so I couldn't ask him to help, even if he did last time.
要件次第ですかね。手短な話ならこの場で聞けますよ。
Depends on the situation. We can talk now if it's quick.
ああ、本当にお伝えしたいだけだったので大丈夫です。
I only wanted to relay a message, so I won't take too much time.
以前、君がシュディで探していた例の女性。
It's about the woman you were looking for in Cheddis.
彼女の行き先に心当たりのある方が、クーネのとある酒場に通っていらっしゃるそうですよ。
It seems there's someone at a bar in Colleen with information of her whereabouts. That's convenience. Everyone quickly surrounded Lucas the moment he gave us that information.
それ、確かな情報ですか？
Are you sure? Yes.
別の区を担当している訪問教師の男性とお茶をした際に何気なく尋ねてみたところ、
I just happened to bring up the subject over tea with one of the other traveling teachers.
彼女が今どんな暮らしをしているのか具体的に語っている女性がいたと。
He mentioned that a woman he knew had been speaking in detail about the very same person. Really? Where can we find her?
西のマルシェに隣接している小さな酒場と聞きましたが。
I heard she frequents the small bar next to the marsh on the west side.
すぐに向かうぞ。
Then let's head out.
情報提供ありがとうよ、先生。
Thanks for the info, Teach.
お礼としてまた荷物でも何でもお手伝いしますから。
As thanks, I'll carry stuff for you next time you need an extra hand.
はあ、状況はよくわかりません
Oh,
が、
maybe he's not.
お役に立てたなら何よりです。
No, maybe he's not involved, because he does seem genuinely bewildered by what's going on. I don't know. Sure, I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm glad to be of help. We gave our thanks to Lucas, who was looking at us dumbfounded, then quickly headed out to the bar.
Ah, あの子?
Oh, you mean her?
あの子なら今頃配達人のおかげで
If you're looking for her, you're too late.
外の国で自由に生きてるんじゃないかしら。多分ね。
Bet she's living a free life outside the country thanks to the deliverer. Yeah, the deliverer delivers your body. Huh?
外の国だと
Outside the country?
配達人
The deliverer?
彼女の行方が気になるってことは、あなたたちあのおまじないについて聞きに来たんじゃないの？
Tell us more. Did you all come asking her about her whereabouts in the ritual? The deliverer. A many can meet along the shores on nights when the moon was hidden. If a woman were to put his favorite flowers in a bottle and raise them to the stairs, this beautiful man would take her on a small boat and deliver her to another country. Apparently, it was a rumor that had spread throughout their line of work starting a few years ago. Why does... This deliverer looks like death. What if this deliverer is Anko?
その噂を聞いて自由と外への憧れを募らせた結果
The more we heard about this place, the more we longed to leave this place.
そのおまじないを実行して本当に消息を絶つ子が結構いたりするのよ。
So quite a few girls performed the spell themselves, and we haven't seen them since. A beautiful man. Yeah, for just a moment, Anko's face flashed in my mind, but... I doubt he would do such a thing. I quickly dismissed the thought. So, what you said is the reason why so many women have gone missing?
姿を消した奴らはそんな現実味のない話を信じたのか。
You're telling me they all vanished after believing in this rumor?
信じたんじゃなく信じないとやっていけなかったんじゃないの？
I'd say they had little choice but to believe in it.
この国で23年以上生き女としての幸せを手に入れるには
The only way a woman in this country can live beyond 23 and find happiness
必ずリライバーになる必要があ
is to
る。
become a reliver.
それには当然お金がいる。だから唯一の財産である体を売る。
Naturally, it requires money, so we sell our most valued assets, our bodies. But even if they did do that and somehow became relivers,
汚れた体と記憶を保持し続ける女として
we are then
男から永遠に蔑まれる運命にあ
we
る。
are then doomed to be despised by the very men who seek us out, as well as others who believe our minds and bodies are filthy.
稀にお客様に見初められて結婚までこぎつける子もいるけれど、そんな運のいい子は一握り。
On rare occasions, some of our clients do end up taking us as their brides. But only a handful are lucky enough for that.
そんな環境に閉じ込められれば外の国に憧れて
So you see, we're trapped in this job once we begin.
信憑性のないおまじないにすがりつきたくなるのも無理ないでしょ。
Do you blame us for our longing to leave that life and believe in a better future? She went on to say that there was a reason those who went missing were ignored and dismissed as unimportant cases. Similar to the woman Yves was looking for, most of them lived on the go without permanent addresses, and no one saw enough value in their lives to care whether they went missing or not.
おまじないを試した子たちが帰ってこないのは無事に国の外へとたどり着いて
The girls who tested their luck with the ritual have gone because they are finally able to leave.
愛する人と人間らしい生き方を送っていると信じているからってね。
I sincerely believe they're living a new life with someone they love.
この間いなくなった綺麗な黒髪の子も
One of the girls who had beautiful black hair,
貧民街に住んでる弟と一緒に外へ出るんだって張り切って準備をしてたっけ。
she was preparing to leave the slums and wanted to take her little brother with her. Uh-oh. Lady? How do we tell her her friend's dead? It can't be.
来るなら私が夢を叶えてあの店を出るまでに来なさいよね。
Was this the dream she spoke about before? If so, she wanted to believe the rumors and saw the other missing women as those that were successful in leaving the island. At least, that was what I assumed.
その配達人とブローが同一人物なのかはこの話だけじゃわからねえな。
From what we just heard, it's still not enough to determine if this deliverer is the same person as Barreau.
そうだね。でも一度配達人が実在するかちゃんと確かめた方がいいかも。
I'm not sure if they're the same person, but No, I kind of feel like they might be two different people. Or maybe it's like a system. A two-person job, more than one? A group? But really, no, I do not believe anyone has ever gotten off this island. Yeah, but we should at least investigate and see if those deliverers really do exist.
あんたはその配達人の噂を信じてねえのか？
You don't believe in this deliverer too, do you?
興味はあるけれど私こう見えて結構長生きしてるから今さら人生に夢なんて見れなくて。
I am curious. But I'm much older than I look, and long past the point of dreaming of a better life.
ああ、そうそう。
Oh, before I forget.
そういえばさっき全く同じ話を聞きに来た子がいたわよ。
There was someone else who came to me asking the same kinds of questions. We all looked at each other. By any chance is this person a young man with long hair and a pretty face?
ええ、いかにもいいところの出って感じの。
Yes. He looked like he came from a good family.
乗客になると思って何人か声をかけてたけど全員揃って振られてたわ。
A lot of us talked to him thinking he'd be a good client, but he turned us all down. She asked if we knew him, and we nodded. This person had to be Mathis.
俺たちよりも先にこの酒場までたどり着いてたの
He's
か。
one step ahead of us. How did he know to look here, though? Looks like he got to her before we did.
あいつ一人じゃ何もできない坊ちゃんだと思ってたが、案外侮れねえもんだな。
And here I thought he was a pampered little boy who couldn't do anything himself. Guess I was wrong. Because I was working with the corpse, I could question more people than I could do alone. This also meant I would be lagging behind with him due to the number of people involved. I did also ask him to return the mansion at least once a day, since we weren't going to try to stop him, so I'd better make sure any of the information I learned won't find its way to him.
で、これがそのおまじないに必要な瓶よ。
Oh, this is the flower bottle you need for the ritual.
配達人には興味ないけど、この瓶自体は綺麗だから、たまに作っては眺めてるの。
I don't plan on summoning the deliverer, but the idea of it is so pretty, and I carry it around just to look at it. I will agree, it is very pretty. Although, why this? Why this as an offering?
あの子にもあげたし、あなたたちにも分けてあげる。
I made one for her too. So you can have this one. Thank you very much. We'll put it to good use.
どういたしまして。
You're very welcome.
調べるだけで外に出るつもりがないなら、うっかり船に乗らないよう気をつけてね。
If you're not planning to leave, just be careful not to board his boat by accident, okay? I'm pretty sure this deliverer is just like a deliverer of death. That's what delivery that's what delivery stands for. Mathis. My head really hurts. My fever was already gone. But I felt like my health was deteriorating day by day. Which was why I had to take a rest on a nearby bench.
ブローとつながりがあるかもしれない配達人の存在。
This deliverer person may be connected in some way to Burrow.
雲行きからして明日の夜は月が隠れるだろうから。
The weather looks like it's going to be cloudy tomorrow night.
その時に海に向かえば何かわかるかも。
Maybe I can learn something if I go to the beach then.
でもその噂って本当のことなのかな。それになんで
That's what I asked.
花が必要なんだろう。
But if the rumor is the rumor even real? What would be the purpose of bringing flowers? I think the purpose of bringing the flowers is to put on their dead bodies.
セレスさんは
death.
この配達人の噂についてどう思いますか？
Sarez, what do you think about the rumor of the so-called deliverer when out here?
またやっちゃった。
I keep doing that. It had been a week already. I wondered how many times I had spoken aloud to her like some kind of idiot.
寂しい。
This is so lonely.
本読みたい。
I want to read a book.
彼女と一緒に。
I want to be with her. It's not too late to go back.
小説書きたいな。
And you can do that. You don't have to do this. I want to write my novel. It's never too late to go back. Back to the past. Samurai Jack? What's Samurai Jack have to do with any of this? Whatcha? I chose this path myself, yet I keep mumbling words of regret. I should head back to her immediately and forget about trying to get revenge. Exactly.
ほとんどの人はきっとそう言うんだろうな。
I bet everyone would say that to me. But I didn't need to be told that. I thought about it many times already, but she knew exactly why I couldn't.
殺
He's
せ
got a demon in him.
殺せ殺せ殺せ殺せ殺せ殺せ殺せあの血に濡れた醜い化け物
Kill that blood-drenched, hideous monster.
憎め殺せ絶対に
Hates.
許すな
Hates. Kill. Never forgive. The memory of my brother's murder and my hatred for him echoed constantly in my mind. Each time I thought about her, the warm feelings in my heart were tainted with a different color. It was like I was cursed. He's turning. He's turning. See, my head is aching again. What in the world is happening to me? So what do we call his alternate personality? Mathis? Matthias? Okay, what did the name I originally accidentally called him? Matthias. Matthias and Mathis. Matthias is the crazy version of him, and Mathis is normal baby, lovable, protective version of him. Mathis and Matthias. After reconvening with Jean, we headed to Karun to determine our next course of action based on the information we learned. But Jean suddenly frowned.
配達人が娼婦たちをこの国から逃がしてくれるですか。
So this deliverer is helping prostitutes escape the country.
売り飛ばされるの間違いじゃねえのか。
I'm guessing it's more along the lines of being sold to another country.
想像するのも不快だが、そっちの方がよほど説得力があるな。
That's a disturbing thought, but it's more likely one than just escaping.
だが、現実的とは言い難い。
Still, leaving isn't realistic.
法と荒波で鎖国されたこの国からただの船で外に出るなんて絶対に不可能だからね。
With the laws in place, having a boat would be a challenge. not to mention the rough seas. But assuming they did miraculously escape, then what?
幸せになんてなれねえよ。この国の人間だと知られたが最後、確実に殺される。
It's a bleak future regardless. If anyone finds out they're from here, they'll be killed. Huh? Are you serious? I heard that people in the other countries were afraid of those who lived here. Adolf and the others' expressions seem to confirm it.
世界全体からすれ
That
ば
sucks.
それだけこの国が異端ってことなんだろう。
I'm guessing the other countries see us as cursed too.
貧民街で生まれた子は、そういった基本的な教育を施すための施設にすら入れないから。
Since kids born into poverty aren't given a proper education, so they won't learn how we're seen by the outside world.
外の国がこのアルペシェールをどう思っているのか、知らずに配達人の話を信じてしまったんじゃないのかな。
It's not surprising they grow up trusting the rumors about the deliverer without knowing how they may be treated. I understand how they feel. If Anko had stopped me, I would have died wishing to be a normal girl. If there was a place out there that didn't know who I was, and I went there, would I be able to shed my identity as death?
んで、これからどうする？早速俺たち自身で噂のおまじないとやらを試してみるか？
So what now? You want to test out this ritual stuff ourselves?
うまくいけば配達人と夜の仰せとしゃれ込めるぜ。
If things go right, we can have a midnight rendezvous with this deliverer guy. Ooh, a midnight rendezvous.
ですが、そのおまじないを実行して願いを叶えるのは女性に限定されています。
But it seems the ritual is limited to women seeking to escape their circumstances. Everyone looks at Cerez.
俺たちが試したところで遠くから警戒されるだけに終わるでしょう
If
し。
we tried it out ourselves,
あ、
I assume it would fail since we would likely keep watch from... Uh-huh. Everyone turned their attention to me.
ダメに決まって。
Hell no! I'll do it. I'll make it happen. I quickly raised my hand enthusiastically before Adolf could say any more. No one seemed very happy with my enthusiasm, but I couldn't back down now. I doubt I can beat Mathis to Barreau by playing it safe. If I want to stop him, I need to show an equal level of determination. They did their best to sway me, but the decision was made. Later that night, I mean, everyone knows who we are, so it would be believable. I ran my hand over the dagger I borrowed from Adolf to use in self-defense. I took a deep breath. With my newfound resolve, I began the ritual as instructed. I raised a clear bottle filled with water and beautiful flowers to the sky. The flowers slowly swayed in the water as starlight silently glimmered through it. Huh? Perhaps it was my fault for focusing on the bottle in my hand. Before I could react, someone moved behind me and put their hand on my shoulder.
動くな。
Don't move. A sharp voice stopped the person behind me. Cappuccino?
少しでも動けばこのまま
That's
首をかき切
Mathis?
る
Why lipstick? Oh, because he was about to try it too, right? So, okay. But cappuccino? I'm genuinely shocked.
お
Don't
前
move
は
my
誰
muscle.
だブローかそれとも別の人間か
Who are you? Are you Barreau? Or someone else?
今彼女に対して何をしようとしていた
What were you planning to do with her? The voice belonged to... Mathis?
よかった間に合って
I'm glad I made it in time. It was the dear person I was trying to outsmart, dressed in a beautiful outfit.
どうしてあなたがこんな場所にいるのかはまた後ほど聞きますが
I'll ask later why you came out here. But first,
まずはこの男への対処が優先です
I need to take care of him. With that, he firmed his grip on his knife. The shatter shook as the blade touched his neck.
待ってほしい何か妙な誤解をしていないかな
Wait a moment, you're mistaken.
私はただ知り合いの姿を見つけたので声をかけようとしただけなのだが
She's someone I know. That's why I approached her.
知り合い
What? You know her? His voice was very familiar. Dr. Cappuccino?
カプシーヌって確か前にイーブさんたちが入院してた病院のお医者様
You're the doctor from the hospital where Yves and Adolf were admitted.
あれから大事ないかな
I'm pretty sure they're like nearby, so. But also, why the heck are you here? Yes, I hope they're well.
無償で経過観察をしてあげたいところだが
I would often follow up on their condition, but
ひとまずナイフを下ろすよう彼女を説得してくれると助かるのだ
before
が
that, I must ask the young lady to lower her knife. Who's gonna tell him that's a man? A few minutes later, after Mathis lowered his knife, Adolf and the rest appeared, running to our side.
やっぱりあんただったか
So it's you.
一瞬あんたが配達人かと思ったが、んな目立つ服装で人さらいなんてするわけねえしな。
I don't know. I'm not gonna write it off just yet. We thought you were a deliverer, but no one would wear something so noticeable to abduct people.
配達に皆揃って一体何の話をしているのかね
Deliverer? Can someone please explain to me what is going on here?
申し訳ありません。こちらにも少々込み入った事情がありまして。
I'm truly sorry. It's just that we have been looking into a particular case. Adolf and the others glanced briefly at a large boulder in the distance where... Movement? Oh no. In the shadows, I was with Mathis behind the boulder, helping him take off his clothes, ooh, which he was having a hard time removing. The clothes you were wearing. Mathis's face went completely red at the start of my question.
僕も配達人の噂を酒場で聞いておびき出せないかと思ったんですが。
Well, I heard rumors about the deliverer at the bar. So I was thinking of luring him out.
見知らぬ女性に危険なおとり役なんてお願いすることもできなくて。
There was no way I could ask a girl to act as bait and put herself in danger, so...
だから、やむなく自分で。
That's why... Well, I didn't have a choice.
遠目からなら体型とかもごまかせるかな。
I figured I could fool them if I kept my distance. I was impressed. That's so like you, Mathis. I understood the gravity of the situation, but I couldn't keep from chuckling.
笑わないでください。これでも一生
Are we
懸
not
命
phased by
考え
the
た
fact
作
that
戦だ
we're,
ったん
he's
です。
asking us to take his clothes off? Stop laughing. You can't imagine how hard it was to execute this plan. Well, I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing because of your appearance. I was laughing because I'm relieved that you're still too kind to put someone else in this position. And... you look cute. You actually looked good in that outfit. In fact, you were very cute, Mathis.
かわいいって。
Cute?
あんまり嬉しくないです。ならいっそ笑ってほしかった。
I'm not really happy to hear that. It would have been better if you just laughed. He looked rather perplexed at my comments, but it didn't take him long for him to move on to the next subject.
でも、その小瓶を持っているということは。
By the way, the fact that you have that bottle with you must mean...
あなたも配達人を誘うためおとりになったということですか？
You were acting as bait to lure out the deliverer, right? Yes.
どうしてそんな危ないことを？
Why are you doing something so dangerous?
アドルフさんたちなら止めてくれると思ったのに。
I thought Adolf and the others would have tried to stop you. I was acting selfishly and forced them to agree with me using me as bait. Hearing how calm I was, Mathis's face flared red with anger.
確かに今の僕はあなたと行動を別にして争ってすら言いますが。
I know things are different, and we're both fighting to try to get the borough first, but...
だからってあなたに何があってもいいと思っているわけじゃありません。
That doesn't mean I don't care about what happens to you.
もしもあなたの身に何かあったら僕は元凶となった自分を許せない。
If something bad happened to you, I won't be able to forgive myself for causing this situation.
僕の帰りを待ってくれるって言うならそれを自分から破るようなことはしないでください。
If you want me to return safely like you said before, then I need you to do the same. Mathis. I was happy to hear him say that, but...
はいはい、坊ちゃん。そこまでにしてください。
No, no, Master. I think you have said enough.
せっかくの再会だというのに、わざわざ衝突することもないでしょ。
It's been a while since you saw her, so please remember your manners.
それで、あんたはどうしてこんな場所で一人でいたんだ？
So what brought you out here all alone?
どうしても何も ここは私の病院から一番近い海岸なのでね。
What brings me here? This is the closest beach to the hospital.
稀に病院を抜け出した患者や医者が散歩に出ることがあるのだよ。だから。
Sometimes our patients find their way out, and my doctors would take breaks here on occasion, so... Can we speak with your doctors?
見つけたら連れ戻せるよう巡回してたって。
So you're trying to say that you came out here to find your patients and doctors? That's not very believable. Dr. Cappuccino nodded in response, at which point everyone sighed. After a short discussion, the doctor confirmed that he hadn't seen anyone resembling the deliverer out here before.
おとり作戦は失敗だね。
You know that scene we saw where there was like a... It was like a laboratory of some sort? I have a feeling that laboratory is located underneath this hospital. And it's either Cappuccino or someone in the hospital who's the deliverer. And maybe they're even bringing the women's bodies into the hospital, into the morgue. To, like, I don't know. To dissect? I don't know. Sell organs? It's where they get their organs. Okay, yeah, that might actually be it.
Nara 今夜はもう一回解散しようぜ。
Well, might as well call it a night.
配達人がどんなに仕事熱心だろうが、こんな騒がしい連中のもとには来ねえだろ。
I don't know how diligent this deliverer guy is, but I doubt he'd bother coming out if he saw a bunch of rowdy people like us. Yeah, we kinda already ruined this.
坊ちゃんももうそろそろ眠たくなる時間帯でしょ。
I also believe it is nearly time for the master to go to sleep.
お小言は言いませんから、約束通り屋敷まで戻られてください。
I will not scold you, so please return to the mansion as promised.
うん。
Okay. Even in this situation, he still listens. Adolf offered to escort me back to the orphanage, but I asked him to wait just a moment. This was about the only time I had to talk with Mathis. After all, he would disappear from me tomorrow to go after Burrow again. I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could.
僕が踏んだせいでぐしゃぐしゃになってしまいましたね。
Every page is wrinkled because I stepped on them. We sat next to each other on his bed as I peeked at his work still in progress.
恋に落ちた主人公の男女がとうとう恐ろしい死神を打ち破り、
The male and female protagonists finally fell in love and defeated the horrifying death.
互いへの愛を告白しようとする場面。
This is the scene where they confess their love.
こんな大事なところで書くのをやめようとしていたなんて。
Yeah, that's like the worst place to end. Can't believe I ended my work at such an important scene.
あの時の僕は本当にどうかしていたみたいです。
I guess I was really out of it back then.
ありがとうございます、セレスさん。あの時の僕からこの物語を守ってくれて。
Thank you very much, Cerez. And thank you for protecting our work from me. You don't need to thank me. He gently touched the papers as he apologized for trampling on them.
ずっと告白のセリフが思い浮かばなかったんですけど。
For the longest time, I couldn't think of how to phrase their confession, but he dipped the end of his dry pen into the inkwell and began to fill in the open space where he left off.
できた。
There. Mathis moved the pen away from the paper and looked at it with a smile.
不思議。あんなに悩んでたのに、こんなにあっさり書けちゃうなんて。
It's so funny. I can't believe how easy this was considering how long I was thinking about what to write.
これも
It's because you're in love.
あなたがそばにいてくれるおかげでしょうか。
Could it be because you're by my side? Huh? What did he mean by that? I was still bewildered as Mathis handed me his manuscript.
セレスさん、どうか僕の復讐が終わるまでこれを預かってはくれませんか。
Cerez, can you please hold on to this until I've succeeded in my revenge?
僕が持っているとまた八つ当たりをしてしまいそうで怖いから。
I'm scared that I'll treat it badly, like before, if I hold on to it. I doubt you'd do that again, Mathis.
するという妙な確信があるんです。
It sounds strange, but I'm convinced I'd do it again.
最近また熱もないのに感情の緩急が激しくなってきているんです。
Recently, I've been having a hard time controlling my emotions, even when I don't have a fever.
ふとした瞬間に兄さんが殺された記憶が勝手に蘇ってきて。
Sometimes memories of when my brother was killed will come back to my mind.
道端の壁を怒りのままに殴ってしまったりも。
Once I ended up punching a wall out of rage. Really?
あなたと一緒に作り上げた物語をこの手で壊したくないから。
I don't want to tear apart the story we wrote together.
どうか
So please.
お願いします。
Understood. But I'm only holding on to it for the time being. I quietly took the work that he handed to me. So I needed to come and take it back. One day, to complete the story.
はい、もちろんです。
Yes, of course.
それはあなたへの思いを込めて書いた僕の大事な心そのものですから。
This contains the feelings I have for you. These are the words in my heart. Aww. Adolf took me back to the orphanage where I was greeted by Mother, who had a most worried look on her face. I did tell her what I was going to do beforehand, but she didn't approve of it at all. So I decided to speak to her myself about what happened. But I didn't let her know that I had acted as bait.
ねえ、セレス。事情を聞いてからずっと聞こうと思っていたのだけれど。
Say, Cerez, I wanted to ask you something ever since you explained the situation to me.
あなたはどうしてマティス君のためにそこまでのことができるの？
Why are you going to so much trouble to do your best for Mathis?
彼は本当にあなたにとってただの友達止まりの人なのかしら。
Is he really just a friend to you? Or is he more than that? Well, her unexpected question caught me off guard. I did see him as only a friend a while ago, but I then began to tell Mother about the days I spent with Mathis. She fell in love. That's what happened. How he took a turn for the better after I served him my cooking. How he held my hand despite being scared of so many people around him. How he brought me a wonderful book. How we were working together to write an exciting adventure story. How he showed his beautiful emotions to me. How uncontrollably warm my heart felt being with him. It's not that I want to be someone special to him. I just want to go back to the days when we were working on his story together.
そう。あなたの心をそこまで掴んだ彼の小説。
I see. So his novel is what really stole your heart.
完成したら私も読んでみたいわ。
I would love to read it once it's done.
アメリの書いたものと似ていたりするのかしらね。血のつながった親子ですもの。
I suppose the story will be similar to what Amelie wrote. They are mother and son after all. Amelie? That was Mathis's mother's name. Mother nodded with nostalgia.
偽名だったから誰も知らないでしょうけれど、彼女も仕事の傍ら小説を書いていたのよ。
She used an alias for her work, so I doubt many knew that she used to write novels as a pastime.
とっても恥ずかしがり屋だったから知人にしか配っていないけれどね。
Then again, she was a very shy person, so she only distributed her works to those she knew.
私も一冊もらったから、あなたも読んでみる？
I have one with me. Would you like to read it?
はい、これ。女の子も楽しめるこの国を舞台にした冒険譚よ。
Here you go. It's an adventure story set in this country for girls to enjoy.
懐かしいわね。いつか生まれる子供に読み聞かせたいのって。寝る間も惜しんで書いていたっけ。
It almost feels like yesterday. She wrote it at night so she could one day read it to her children. Is that so? Mother smiled with joy. But then after taking a deep breath, her smile transformed into sorrow.
本当に亡くなっているのが残念だわ。
It really is unfortunate she passed away.
息子が自分と同じ道を歩んでくれていると知ったら泣いて喜んでいたと思うのに。
I'm sure she would have been overjoyed to know that her son is following her path.
どうかした？
Is there a problem? No. Something didn't feel right. Yeah, something doesn't. Here it seems his mom is sounding like a decent person, not like the asshole we saw in the memories. But I don't know, maybe something changed? Or maybe that person wasn't actually his mother, was a stepmother. Yes, mommy is here. Mother's description of the Cloud family feels off. Peace, mommy. The impression I get is completely different from what I heard from Mathis and Jean. What if he was abducted? What if Mathis was abducted? I mean, it would be one explanation as to why they kept him locked in the basements. Because, I mean, you don't want people to know you stole the kid, right? Mother seemed to imply that Monsieur and Madame Claude were kind and loving parents. It was like hearing about a completely different person. I wonder if their moods changed a lot. I placed the novel on my desk and sat on the bed. It wasn't that I was disinterested in the novel, but I'd rather read the story that Mathis is writing. I went back to the scene that Mathis had just finished earlier. Huh? As I read it, I realized her name had been written as Ceres. My name, Ceres. Why? I couldn't stop myself from turning the page. The two of them vowed to work together to solve the mystery plaguing the town. What was going to happen next? Soon, I arrived at a certain page, where my hand became still. I saw a new passage written there. The hero was speaking to the heroine, who worked with him on the case. Thank you for being with a person like me. Your beautiful words and heart gave me the courage I needed. I love you. I love you as a woman, Ceres. So from this day forward, let's have an adventure together. Please stay by my side forever. Ah. What Mathis said to me before came to mind. He told me before that he wanted me to protect this. Is this what he was referring to? Tears flowed down my cheeks. I did my best to wipe my tears away before they hit the page. I then read it again. Again and again. If this was how he really felt, and if these words of love were his confession, I'm so happy, but I was happy and sad at the same time. After all, he might forget this feeling if his desire for revenge takes over. Is this the reason he asked me to hold on to it? So that he wouldn't forget, and if he did, he could remember his feelings again? Could I really hope that this was his idea? I could only imagine what he meant by entrusting his novel to me. But there was one thing that I knew for sure. I would protect this with all I have. Until the day came when he reached the end of his journey for his revenge. Then we could continue writing this novel together again. And when that day arrived, I was sure he would share with me the feelings that he wrote about in his novel. As I carefully put the papers away, I looked again at the book I got from Mother that was sitting on the desk. A story that Mathis' mother wrote herself. Maybe I should bring this with me when the time comes. Perhaps by then, Mathis will have found some healing from what happened with his parents. The pain from his past was undoubtedly a part of him, but I sincerely believed he was more than that. For the time being, I decided to glance through the book and turn the page. Thank you for being with a person like me. Your beautiful words and heart gave me the courage I needed. I love you. I love you as a woman. So from this day forward, let's have adventures together. Please stay by my side forever. Huh? The words written inside were practically the same when I read earlier. What's going on here? Copywritten! Mathis! How dare you! My eyes widened in disbelief as I quickly flipped through the pages. The beginning of the story, and every word throughout the novel, looked eerily similar. Please let this be in my imagination. I lined up the two novels next to each other as I prayed for something that wouldn't come true. The words written in both novels were a perfect match, word for word. The only difference was the name of the heroine and the parts where the hero confessed his love. So Mathis was actually copying what his mother wrote. No. He wouldn't do such a thing. We were also thinking together about what to write. Considering the situation, I doubted he knew that story was going to write beforehand. This novel wasn't made widely available, and even if it had been in the mansion, it didn't seem like Mathis would have known. What in the world is going on? Time travel? The people Mother is talking about is actually Ceres and Mathis himself? I don't know. I'm so confused now. It matched so perfectly that it could hardly be called a coincidence. I could only stare at the novels side by side as a strange chill crawled down my spine. That's weird.
追加した場面読んでくれたかな
I wonder if she saw what I added in there. It was a roundabout way of confessing my love. Not that I was looking forward to her reply. I was just hoping that she knew what I felt for her despite being caught up in all this hatred. It might not have been direct, but I hoped she would understand how I felt about her.
でもいつかはちゃんと現実で伝えたいな
Then again, I hope I can tell her my feelings in person one day.
僕はあなたに
I
キラキラとした恋をしています
I'm so incredibly in love with you. What if we're actually in a Matrix? I see. Then time is of the essence. Perhaps I should fall in love with her again as my new self. What is happening? What is happening? Is Mathis actually like an evil mastermind that lives over and over again, falling in love with a person? But then Mathis would be his own father, right? Or mother? I'm so confused. Is maybe... Well, he did have that weird little metal thing on the back of his neck. Maybe he's actually a robot, and like the little SD card is put into different robots that are... I don't know, but can robots have babies? I'm so confused. I don't know. What is happening? All my theories are like out the window. Mathis, what are you? The next day, I came to visit Claude's mansion to see Mathis, but as expected, he wasn't around.
申し訳ありません。昨夜の様子なら行き先ぐらいは告げてくださると思ったのですが。
I do apologize. I assumed he would let me know where he was headed after seeing how calm he was, but... Yeah, true. Some robots do. It's fine. Survivorg. To be honest, I was a bit relieved. His story being exactly the same as his mother's. Oh yeah, maybe Jean has answers for us. I simply didn't have what it took to ask him about it right now.
あなたは本日も自警団の皆さんと共に行動を
Will you be accompanying the members of the corps again today? Yes. We're going to Cernaval this time.
おお、ということはシアン様を訪ねられるのですね。
Ah, which means you're planning to visit Monsieur Brofies?
共に行けない俺と坊ちゃんの分まで挨拶をよろしくお願いいたします。
As the master and I are unable to accompany you there, please send him our regards. My mission today was to ask Cian about whether Barreau could have been revived through reviver technology. With Jean taking care of the mansion, I headed out to Cernaval with Yves. We arrived at the institute, discover a large crowd waiting outside the facility. Uh-oh.
皆さん、どうか押さないで落ち着いてください。
Oh, did they all find out about, Barreau? Everyone, please no pushing. I need you all to calm the heck down.
一人ずつ来てください。中に入るには誓約書の確認が必要です。
One at a time. Please follow me. We need to check your pledges before you can enter.
誓約書ならここにあるわ。早く確認してよ。
Everyone's getting their, I see. I think I know what's going on. I think they all heard about the return of, Barreau. And so, you know, if you die and you don't have a backup, you're dead for good. So now everyone's taking precautions and wanting to get their backups ready and, just in case they get murdered. I think that's what's going on. What's
こんにちは、二人とも。
Why hello you two.
ここは見ての通りの状況なので、研究所に何か用事があるのなら日を改めた方がよろしいかと。
As you can see, the Institute seems to be in chaos. So perhaps it's best you return another day. Lucas,
これは何がどうなってるんですか？
what's going on here?
国立研究所でこんな騒ぎが起きるなんて。
I never expected for a crowd this big to be gathered.
ここにいる人たちがいつこの衛兵に拘束されるかわからないですよ。
If this keeps up, there's no telling when they'll be arrested by the Royal Guard.
私も皆さんにそう訴えたのですが、聞く耳を持っていただけなくて。
I said that to the crowd as well. But they don't seem to want to listen.
何でも研究所のサーバーに保管されていた
Something about the Institute's server? Oh,
クローン体に移行するための記憶データの一部が盗み出されてしまったそうです。
it seems a portion of the memory data used to transition into clone bodies was stolen.
え？
Huh?
装置を壊されたとかじゃなく、バックアップが盗まれるなんて、そんなことありえるんですか？
Wait. Not the device is being broken? Someone actually snuck in and stole backup data?
ありえるからこそこんなにも人々が怒り狂っているのでしょうね。
Mathis? Someone did indeed. Which is why the people have formed such an angry crowd today. According to Lucas, a certain man came to the Institute to fill out the required paper for his family to become relievers. It was then that one of the researchers found out that their memory data went missing. This was something that had never happened before, so the chaos that ensued wasn't surprising. They then went into a full investigation to discover something they didn't expect. Not only did they lose a large amount of backup data, but it was also replaced with fake data. It became clear then that the data must have been stolen. Rumors immediately spread, which led to the crowd of people trying to find their way inside for answers.
苦労して金を集めてリライバーになろうとしてるってのに、ここの管理はどうなってんだ?
What the hell are you guys doing? We worked our asses off to save money and become relievers.
俺だってもういつ呪いにやられてもおかしくないんだ。バックアップがないなら早く取り直さねえと。
I can get hurt by the curse at any moment, so you guys need to hurry and restore my backup data.
私の知り合いなんて間に合わなかったのよ。
My friend didn't make it in time because of what happened.
彼、リライバーになったら
He had plans for his reliever life.
兄を殺したブローをクルーンが殺してくれたから。
After Barreau killed his brother, Karoom killed Barreau.
もう憎しみを忘れて気楽に生きるつもりだってそう言ってたのに。
I think we actually know that person she's talking about. Because there was a guy who was like... I'm pretty sure it was this game. Was like, oh, they killed my brother too. So if you didn't go after him, I probably would have, but was too scared, or I don't know. But maybe I'm thinking of a different game. What game would I... Wait, no, wait, huh? I don't know, but I feel like something like that happened. So is this that guy? Yeah, because the guy was like, he's finally at peace now that Burrow is gone and that his family is avenged. Anyway. He's finally going to live a peaceful life without hatred.
うわ、あれじゃそのうちダハトたちが押しつぶされちゃうよ。
Yikes, at this rate they're going to end up trampling donuts in the rust.
ごめん、セレス。ちょっと手助けしてきてもいいかな。
Oh, sorry, Cerez. You mind if I help them out? Go ahead.
私もお手伝いしましょう。
Let me help too.
君は巻き込まれないよう離れた場所で待っていてくださ
You
い。
should stand back so you're not in harm's way. Hearing that the memory data was stolen doesn't feel real at all. In addition, it sounded like the genetic component of the backup data wasn't stolen. Why did this person steal only the memory? Maybe they want to read the records of someone's past?
そんなこと不可能に決まっているだろう。
Isn't it obvious that what you said is impossible? Don't sneak up on me! Cian! How long have you been there?
なんだ、人の顔を見た途端幽霊を見たような顔をして。
What? You look like you've seen a ghost.
今日の訪問を申し出たのはお前たちの方だろうが。
Let me remind you that you're the one who asked to see me today. That's why I'm surprised to see you here, Cian. Aren't you going to do something about the commotion? Of course not. He's Cian. He doesn't do stuff like that.
知らん。
See?
データが盗まれたのは1年前にバカな王族どもが。
I don't care. It's the stupid royal family's fault for tampering with the security a year ago.
俺の弱みを握ろうとセキュリティを強引に解除したのが原因だ。
They tried to force their way through the system to find something to use against me.
なぜ火のない俺が奴らの尻拭いをしなければならん。
So I have no reason to cover for them for their pathetic attempt to beat me. Well, now that you put it that way, it made sense. It was the royal family's fault, which was why the royal guard was noticeably absent. Seeing that I understood what he said, Cian began to speak more about the situation, probably out of boredom.
記憶のデータという言葉だけを聞けば。
Just looking at what memory means as a word impresses a certain concept.
大抵の人間は好きに振り返ることのできる本のようなものを想像するだろう。
Most people will probably see memories as some kind of book they can go through whenever they want.
だが実際は全く違う。
But that is an incorrect concept. There are no words or pictures. Stored in the Institute's server were enormous amounts of memories formulated into matrices of ones and zeros. What that means was the memories weren't stored as words or imagery. Only clones into which the proper data was downloaded can be read and decipher them into memories. But the genetic data that was needed along with the memory data wasn't stolen for some reason. Does that mean that there's nothing to gain from the stolen data? If I recall correctly, downloading data that doesn't match the clone body will only cause bugs that ruin the brain.
普通のクローン体にダウンロードすればそうなるな。
That would be the case if it were downloaded into a normal clone.
だが、
However,
生まれる前の細胞なら話は別だ。
the story is different if the download is done to cells before birth. Before birth?
例えるなら、大凶が近い。お前も聞いたことぐらいはあるだろう。
For example, prenatal education. You must have heard of some of those techniques before? Never. Or are you talking about, like, playing Mozart's? I don't know. Yes, like how pregnant women mates play music or tell stories for the fetus to listen to. I heard those kinds of things can affect the baby's personality and even their memory.
それと同じ理屈だ。
Exactly.
生命になる前のとある細胞に記憶のダウンロードという名の対響を施してやれば。
does not compute. Does not compute. This suggests that downloading memory data to a cell as part of its prenatal education before life is fully formed. How does one do that? So you're saying it's possible to have a baby born with someone else's memory?
Ah, だがそれもごくわずかな上に長持ちもしない。
Indeed. But only a very small portion, which won't last long. He explained that the person's body and mind would notice that the memory didn't match the body genetically. I know, right? I love Cian.
盗まれたデータがどこかで違法な実験に使われた可能性も考え
He is a workaholic. He is also the oldest person on this island. But he is a hot grandpa. It's possible that there were illegal experiments done some time ago using the data that was stolen, but...
俺と同等の研究者しか実現が不可能な上。
None of the researchers, myself included, have proved that concept in reality.
かかる手間に対し得られる利益は皆無に等しい。
The benefits of pursuing it aren't worth the trouble.
研究所に目をつけられる危険を負ってまでそんな無駄な実験を行おうとする輩はいないだろうな。
Apparently there is. I doubt there's someone stupid enough to earn the Institute's consent just to conduct their useless experiments. Cian, you make it sound as though you've never tried it before. Or as though you've tried it before. He probably has.
あるわけないだろう。あくまで仮定の話だ。
Of course not. I'm only speaking in theoretical terms. Just as our conversation was about to end, Yves and Lucas somehow helped manage the crowd and...
イブさんたちが来てくれなかったら圧死するところでした。
Poor little donuts. If it weren't for you folks, I would have been stomped to death.
本当に怪我人が出なかったのは奇跡です。
Really, it's a miracle no one was hurt. The people dispersed and left the institute with disgruntled murmurs. After parting ways with Lucas, we finally found ourselves in Cian's laboratory.
リライバーの生産技術はこの国立研究所が独占している。他に一切の例外はなく、俺が許さん。
The reliable technology and manufacturing process are owned by the Institute. This would never change. I won't allow it.
だがブローがリライバーとして蘇ったと仮定すると、
That said, assuming Barreau did revive as a reliver,
この研究所に所属、あるいは過去にしていた何者かが
it would mean an Institute employee, past or present, is involved.
廃棄予定だった古い装置を盗み出し、
Odds are likely
ど
that they
こかで
stole
悪用
obsolete
している
models
可
and
能
my
性が
device
最
is meant to be
も高い。
discarded at is abusing them for their own ends.
時間はかかるが、該当しそうなものを洗い出しておく。
It will take some time, but I will investigate the possible culprits behind it. By the time such a decision was made, it had already gotten dark outside. As we prepared to part ways, Gyves and Donut began talking about baking sweets when... Baking donuts?
待て、死神の小娘。お前は今クロード家に仕えているのだったな。
Wait, Maiden of Death. You're working for the Claude family, right? I turned around as Cian stopped me.
あの羊に伝言がある。一言一句互えず伝えろ。
I want you to relay a message to that butler, word for word. To Jean? Of course. What do you want to say to him?
警告はした。
I warned you.
今も持っているだろうカメラを速やかに俺の元へ返せ。
I know you still have that camera. Return it while you still can. Camera? Is Jean like peeping on people? Was he referring to the camera Jean carried with him at all times? Did you lend it to Jean by chance? I didn't recall him ever saying so before. The way you phrased your message makes it sound like Jean stole it from you.
ようなも何も奴が持っているカメラは間違いなく
As it happens, the camera currently in his possession
数年前に研究所から盗まれたものだ。
was stolen from the Institute a few years ago. I couldn't absorb the many shocking revelations he shared with me. He said it was stolen, but Jean said before that he got that camera through connections. Through connections. Perhaps his camera just looks similar to the one that was stolen? Cian said that it wasn't possible. He explained that cameras are extremely valuable, and the inventory was tightly controlled by the Institute. So apparently, even prominent figures from ch3 weren't allowed to own cameras. He was curious as to how Jean actually had a photograph, so he searched the rental records. He discovered that the records were tampered with, and that one camera went missing a while back. It can't be, but why? Why was Jean lying? Suddenly... What? Whoa. I heard a shout from afar. I then heard a digital tone come from Yves's chest. What's going on, Yves?
アドルフからの緊急通信。今全員に聞こえるように音量を上げるね。
It's an emergency call from Adolf. Let me raise the volume so everyone can hear. It's Burrow. It's Burrow.
イブ、セレス、まだセルネボルにいるなら今すぐ移動しろ。
Yves, Ceres, if you guys are in Cernaval, get out of there now.
シュディで男が一人、ブローにやられた。
A guy was just killed in Chedis by Burrow.
しかも最悪なことに
Making matters worse.
居合わせたマティスが路地に逃げたやつを追いかけていっちまった。
Mathis just happened to be at the scene and went after him down one more of the alleys. Mathis.
くそ、今回は男性が狙われたのか。
Damn it, this time the victim was a man. As we were surprised by the turn of events, Hugo told us where it all happened.
近いな。一応研究員を避難させるか。
Nuts nearby. I better evacuate my staff.
ダハト。
Donuts.
はいはーい。一応確認しますけど、王族からの観光令は破っちゃっていいんです。
Gotcha. Just to confirm, I can break the royal family's gag order, right?
構わん。これだけの騒ぎになれば、もう隠し通せんだ。
Screw the royal family, tell them all. Do it. Not like we can hide the commotion at this point.
それでも文句を言ってきたら全て俺が受け付
If
け
they
る。
complain, I'll handle it. We do love a man in charge. Donut responded immediately and quickly dashed inside the institute.
クルーンに小娘。どうせお前らは現場へ行くんだろう。
You and Karun. I assume you will arrive at the scene shortly.
急ぐなら研究所の車を使っても構わんぞ。運転手も貸してや
If
る。
you're in a hurry, you can use one of the vehicles. I can lend you a driver. He probably had everything ready from the beginning. As the car rolled out from behind the institute and stopped in front of us, the driver's windows rolled down. It was the driver who almost ran into Jean back at the marsh in Cheddars.
あの時は失礼いたしま
You
した
didn't get fired?
今度は迅速かつ丁寧な運転をお約束させていただきます
I'm very sorry about last time. I promise you a safe and fast journey wherever you go.
これは貸しだ。ブローを生け捕りにしたら俺の元へ連れてこい。
I'm doing you a favor here. So once you capture Barreau, bring him to me.
奴のあの身体能力には多少興味があるからな。
I'm interested to see where he gets his superhuman strength. Honestly, I kind of am too, because he freaking like literally jumped backwards onto a wall that was way higher than them. Higher than like imagine, someone jumps from here, someone jumps from, I don't know, here, up to here, and a normal person is about this height. But that's not normal. I nodded in response, then hurried into the car. I closed the door and immediately the driver revved the engine.
飛ばします舌を噛まないように捕まっていてくださいね
Let's get going. Just make sure you don't bite your tongue on the way. Before I could say anything, what appeared to be the most advanced model of an electric car owned by the Institute sped off. Sped off so quickly that it could kill anyone who got in the way. Full throttle.
いやマティスみたいな運転をする
It's
人
like
が
I thought we were done and over with this. I thought we never had to experience this again. Oh God, save me. Never expected to see another driver similar to Mathis. I don't think similar is the right word to use. It was as though Mathis himself was at the wheel. Oh, I know we're in a hurry, but can you please slow down?
運転に集中できないので話しかけないでください
Please don't talk to me. I need to focus.
くそブローの姿を見つけられたら車ごと突っ込んでやるのに
Oh, damn, I'm gonna ram this car right into Barreau the moment I see him. His style of speech sounded familiar. The moment he took the handle and got the car running, his eyes and personality changed. This was way too similar to a certain someone I knew. Okay, Mathis is a product of the Institutes. Confirmed. Fortunately, no one was hit during the drive, and we quickly found ourselves at the corner of Chedas.
それじゃあ俺はアドルフたちと合流し路地に入るから。
Okay, I'm going to meet up with Adolf and the others.
君はこの車の中で待機しておいて、マティスの姿を見つけたらすぐに教
We're
える
already
よ。
gone. I'll let you know as soon as I find Mathis. Okay. Please let me know if anyone is hurt. No, I thought we would have already been gone by the time he ended the sentence. It's like he's talking to no one. I quietly looked on as Yves left. The nearby residents looked bewildered by the Bureau's unexpected return, and the corpse directed them back inside their homes. It seemed like things were fairly under control, especially considering the urgency of the transmitter message earlier, but... A familiar young boy was going against the flow of people and headed into one of the alleys. Oh god, he's trying to get revenge. Isn't he... Stop it! Stop the child! Huh? He was with the woman killed by Bureau. Oh wait, no, okay. Wait, sorry, okay. I thought... For a second when I read that, I thought it was like... She was mysteriously alive again, somehow, and she had seen him, we had seen them outside the window, but no, it's just past tense, past tense. He was with the woman killed by Bureau, okay, yeah. Yes, the alley. The alley has to appear at least once every hour or two. Where are you going? We're gonna be rained on again. I quickly got out of the car to give chase. The alley was dark and maze-like, making it difficult to see ahead. I got you! What in the world are you doing? You need to find shelter with the others. Why was he here in Shadows in the first place? Kid, I know you want to avenge your sister, and I get that. I respect it. But you are a child. You have no weapon with you. What do you expect to do against this person, who even the grown-ups are having trouble with? I'm gonna fight him and avenge my sister's death. His demeanor was similar to Mathis's. I bit down on my lip to force myself to keep hold of his arm. I had to stop him. I couldn't help but resemble a strong, beautiful sister too, who sought a better life. I'm sorry, but I can't let you go. Get some water, my mouth is getting dry.
貧民街に住んでる弟と一緒に外へ出るんだって張り切って準備をしてたっけ。
She wasn't acting for herself. She was probably trying to leave the country for the sake of her younger brother. But he was resisting a lot more than I thought, and he somehow wrestled free and made his escape. Wait! I kept running through the alleys. I finally reached not the young boy, but... A person seeking vengeance was fighting head-on against Burrow with nothing but a short dagger. Mathis? Mathis was knocked back against the wall. I'm not through yet! He didn't let up, and pushed against the wall to gain momentum. How dare you! You're a fool for bringing chaos to this country! He quickly moved within striking range of Burrow. For some reason, Burrow stopped for a moment at Mathis's roar. Mathis's knife found its mark. Blood began to pour from Burrow's wound. I was stunned by the sight. Mathis. He actually hit Burrow? He wasn't close to a threat to Burrow when they first met. Wait. It looked like he was in the same mental state when he trampled on his own novel. His face was warped with ferocity. How dare you kill my brother? Why did you throw me in such a dark place when I did nothing wrong? Where's the respect for your mission you were given when you were born? The mission? We had a mission? He was shouting phrases that weren't making any sense. Who is he? He wasn't Mathis. I was probably not the only one who noticed something was wrong. Burrow leapt back as blood continued to drip from his side. How dare you do that to my brother? Why did you kill Camille Claude? Burrow observed the young man, who brandished his knife in order to avenge his brother's death. He lifted his hood just a bit, revealing his mouth. No. I did not kill anyone from the Claude family. He spoke. What? Don't lie to me! Blood flew from his mouth as he screamed.
前が兄さんと両親を殺しているところを見たんだ。
What if those were fabricated memories? Oh my god. I saw you kill my brother and my parents with my own eyes.
あの夜、お前は倒れる兄さんの上にまたがって何度も探検で。
That night, you pushed my brother down and stabbed him with a dagger over and over again. The air seemed to shake as he screamed, but still. Silence. Barreau shook his head in denial. This man murdered countless people and boldly fought off all the opponents who tried to capture him. It was hard to imagine that he would make excuses now for what he had done. Which meant...
嘘だ。
Lies. Oh, lies! Lies, 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 lies!
じゃあ、誰が。
So, then who?
あの夜、兄さんを。
That night, my brother! Mathis froze.
兄さん。
Brother? He's like, wait, I was a single child! Oh my god, what if... what?
そういえば、僕の兄さんって。
Wait, my brother?
どんな顔をしてたっけ。
What did he look like? Oh, okay. Things are happening. At the sudden noise, Mathis screamed while holding his head. Mathis! I ran toward Mathis as he continued to scream with his head in his hands. My head hurts. Help, brother. Let me out.
なぜ何も言ってくれなかった。
Why? Why didn't you say anything? What's going on? He's like, okay, I'm gonna leave now, okay? Bro's like, I'm gonna, you deal with this, I'm gonna leave. After observing Mathis's groan in pain, Barreau jumped against a wall and swiftly departed. So based on what we've learned so far and what we're seeing, I have another theory. Mathis never had a brother. I don't know how the parents fit in, because, like... Well, no, they said something... Part of Mathis's personality is that of his mother, because, you know, the whole prenatal inserts memory thingy that Cian was going on about? I imagine Mathis was the experiment of that. And some of his mother's memory went into him as an infant, while he was in the womb. And that's why he wrote the exact same book. Because part of his, his mother wrote that book, the other book. but like a part of her was still with him, and that's how he literally wrote a perfect copy, thinking it was an original. But then he did say something about like some part of him, like that doesn't seem to be him, was like, I don't know, it was saying things that was like, oh, he's in love? Well, I guess we have to do something. Which I think whatever this something is him stealing the memory data to probably sustain himself, because he's kind of losing it. He's kind of losing it here. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm trying to remember. What was the name of Jean's lover? I feel like she's somehow connected to the family. I don't know how, but I feel like Jean is in on this. What if he is? What if he's been controlling Mathis this whole time? I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on fully. But there's so much going on. Oh my god. Mathis could no longer endure the pain and suddenly vomited on the ground. Gross. I had no clue what was happening to Mathis. But there was something I knew I had to do. I need to find help. Yes and no. A woman came running to us from behind.
手伝うわ。この子を表通りに運べばいいのね。
Let me help. You need to get him out into the open, right? Yes, please. I asked her for her help and lifted Mathis up, hoping that we could carry him out more quickly than trying to call the cops. Everyone else is seeking shelter. Why did you go into the alley?
屋敷の窓からあなたの姿が見えたから。
I saw you through the window. Huh?
あなた、クロード家の使用人なのよね。以前、屋敷の前で姿を見たって主人から聞いたわ。
You work at the Clown Manor, don't you? I heard from my husband that he saw you there too.
私の亡くなった友達がね、あの屋敷の跡取りである神優様の恋人で。
My friend who passed away was the lover of the young master, Camille Claude. Yeah.
あなたに少し似ていたの。だからなんとなく放っておけなくて。
Okay, so I wasn't imagining things. Camille is... Okay, so yes. Okay, Jean has to be in on it. Because Camille, I believe, was his mother's name. And is also the name of his lover, Jean's lover. So, Jean had a thing for Mathis's mother. And Mathis's mother was doing experiments on her son. And after she died, he's taken over. And I don't know why, but... this is so fucked up. What is going on here? This poor child.
You 知ってる？ロザリーっていうあなたと同じ髪色の元娼婦の子だったんだけど。
Did you know her? Rosalie was a prostitute with the same hair color as you. Wait, no, Rosalie was the. Okay, let me go back. I need to reread. Okay, hold up. Okay, she saw us from the window. You look like her friend. You work at the Cloud Mansion, don't you? My husband saw you there. My friend who passed away was the lover. Damn it, where did I lose it? My friend who passed away was the lover of the young master Camille. Oh, Camille was the brother, right? Okay, Camille was the. Oh. Okay, so Rosalie is her friend. And Rosalie was also a prostitute. And was in love with Camille. Claude, who is Mathis's brother. So I guess his brother actually does exist. But Jean was also in love with her. Did Jean kill Claude? Camille? I think Jean may have killed Camille. I feel... Because if they like the same person, he may have killed Camille so he could get with Rosalie. But then Rosalie, maybe being mad that she killed Camille, that he killed Camille, killed herself? Or was killed by, like, Barreau or something, but, I mean... I think Jean killed Camille. Huh? Rosalie? Wait... Isn't that the name of the butler, Jean's lover? That, or Jean actually is Camille.
ch3? John?
Oh my god, is he Camille? Butler? Jean?
誰それ?
Who's that?
私も元娼婦で、シュディの男性に見初められて嫁ぐ形で昨日移り住んだばかりなんだけど。
I used to work with Rosalie, and I recently moved to ch3 after marrying a resident here.
その間にカミーユ様が雇われた人?
Was Jean someone hired by Camille? No, they were childhood friends. And now Jean serves Camille's younger brother, Mathis.
何を言ってるのあなた?
Huh? What are you saying?
カミーユ様には弟も幼馴染もいないわよ。
Camille doesn't have a younger brother or any childhood friends.
ロザリーから直接聞いたもの、間違いないわ。
I know because I used to talk about it with Rosalie before. Oh my god, Jean killed everyone in that house. So he could take it over with Mathis, who is a robot child with fabricated memories and fabricated his memories. Or so he could do experiments on Mathis about the whole memory thing. And he killed the whole family and then placed memories into Mathis, in which he was the younger brother of this family and that this whole tragedy happened, and he is taking care of him. But they knew each other forever. And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Then who was he? As if responding to the words, Camille. Mathis's eyelids twitched.
どうしてこんなひどい仕打ちをするの？
Why are you doing such a horrible thing?
お願い、命だけは助けて。
Please, don't kill me.
私たちにはまだやるべきことがあるから。
We still have things to accomplish.
死にたくない。殺さないで。カミーユ。
Huh? So he never had a loving brother at all. Or a best friend. That's sad.
ああ、俺としたことが
Shame on me.
カメラに残ってた。俺とロザリーの関係を知っている娼婦は
I thought I made sure to keep tabs on the prostitutes in the pictures who knew about my relationship with Rosalie.
もう全員始末したと思ったのにな。
I thought I got rid of them all.
まさかこんなところに
But lo and behold, another one appears.
始末し損ねたネズミがまだ残っているなんて。愛しい愛しいロザリーに知られたら
I suppose I need to get rid of this rat before my dear sweet Rosalie finds out.
カミーユは相変わらずドジねって可愛らしく叱られてしまうよ。
She might even scold in that cute way of hers. Camille, you're as clumsy as ever. Let's turn around and remember that crazy theory I had that Rosalie was actually like a crazy serial killer, and Jean was like, oh, serial killer, hot. I'm starting to think that is true. Except for Jean is not Jean. Jean is Camille. But the part where Mathis is included, I am still so confused about. I need to read some stuff again. Hold up. Okay, so yeah, shame on me. I thought I made sure to keep tabs on the prostitutes and pictures who knew about my relationship with Rosalie. Okay, yeah, because Rosalie was also a prostitute. So obviously her fellow prostitutes would know about her, and so he's trying to get rid of all the prostitutes for his own like social standing or something, but Camille no longer exists, apparently. No, who would care? And who is Rosalie? Like, she's obviously alive. Otherwise, her finding out wouldn't matter. Gruesome.
いつもとは手口が違うか。これもブローの仕業なのか。
Seems different from what Barreau usually does. But I guess this is a new fancy.
おい、いつまでうずくまってるんだ。死体なら前回奴が起こした犯行で見慣れただろ。
Hey, quit puking already. This isn't the first time you've seen his victims.
これはこれで
どすぎるだろうが。
Yeah, but this is too much.
ああ、おぞましい。
Look at what he's done.
女の腹をナイフでかっ切るなんて、奴はどうかしている。
He's completely mad, slitting her belly open with a knife. Jack the Ripper. Alright, so Jean, aka Camille, is also Jack the Ripper. And going around killing prostitutes. Somehow without our knowledge. He forced me to follow him with his knife. I knew this mansion. I knew the hallway. I knew these walls. But I didn't know there were hidden stairs here.
さあ、どうぞ。
Now after you.
こちらがマティス坊ちゃんの本当の自室でございます。
Welcome to Master Mathis' real room. They're inside this cold, dark underground room. Mathis, Rosalie. Okay, let's examine. So I'm gonna guess that there in two. That's Rosalie. She's being preserved. They seem... Those who probably used that on Mathis at some point. They have seen some use. I was like, what? It's like a DNA strand there. And some tally marks? What are the tally marks for? Maybe how many tries he's done? He's attempted? In which case, oh my god, that is a lot of tries. What the heck? They're inside a dark room. Yep, he's a robot. We're in love with a robot, everyone. My precious person was connected to some unknown device. Tubes extended from the device, which were connected to his arms, legs, and neck. He showed no sign of resistance, and instead has his eyes closed like a puppet. Suddenly, a flash of light was accompanied by a high-pitched sound. Surprised, I turned around to discover him pointing his camera toward Mathis.
記録完了。経過は良好だな。
Evidence recorded. Not bad at all. Who are you? He was speaking differently now. He even sounded like the person that Mathis told me about during his memories as a child. He then walked over to Mathis and stood by his side as if offering support. The camera's flash and sound woke Mathis. His eyelids slowly lifted to reveal his eyes. See, I knew that was a plug back there. I told you that was a plug. And it is kind of like a headphone jack. It does have the same shape. Jean? He immediately reacted, calling Jean's name in a confused voice. He was completely bound and couldn't move, but I could see him still shaking from the uncertainty of the situation.
ちゃん、おかしいんだ。
Jean, something's wrong.
あいつ、ブローが喋って。
The Bro told me.
兄さんは黒時計の者は誰も殺していないって。
He said he didn't kill my brother. He said he didn't kill anyone in the Claude family.
でもシャンだって見たよね。あいつに殺された兄さんたちの姿を。
You saw it too, Jean. You saw him murder my brother and my parents.
ねえ、こっそり見ていましたが、あの言葉には俺も本当に驚きました。
Yes, I saw from afar, and was very surprised by what he said.
あいつ、喋るんだな。しかもお前の問いに答えることまでできただなんて。
Didn't know the guy could talk, let alone cough up the info you were asking for.
命令に従うだけの従順な化け物だって自慢げに聞かされてたんだけどな。
Weird, given how I heard that he was a loyal monster who was good at following orders.
ま、ただの比喩だったってことか。
Well, I guess he was exaggerating. Only now did Mathis and I realize that Jean's mannerisms and style of speech changed.
シャン、
Jean?
どうしたの？僕の質問に答えてよ。兄さんが殺された日のこと。
Is something wrong? Please answer me. My brother was killed.
おいおい、勝手に兄さんを殺すなんて、お前も悪い子に育ったな。
Hey, hey. Who are you to wipe your brother from existence like that, you naughty rascal?
え？
I see. I don't.
死神の娘、セレス嬢。君はもうとっくに気づいてるみたいだけど。
Cerez, fair maid in the death. I can tell you know who I am now, but...
残念ながら、出来損ないの我が弟は、はっきり言わないと何も理解できないらしい。
Unfortunately, my pathetic little brother won't understand a thing unless you tell him directly.
だから君の口から教えてやってくれよ。
So go ahead. Let him know.
俺が一体誰なのかさ。
Let him know who I am. I took a deep breath. I was actually hoping I was wrong, and that this was all a bad dream. But my breath was very real. I knew that this wasn't just some nightmare. You're Camille. You're Camille Claude. Mathis's eyes opened wide at my words.
お見事、大正解。
Bingo! Great answer.
いやー、最高だね。いい加減本名を名乗りたくてたまらなかったんだ。
Wasn't this a treat? I've been itching to say my real name from the start.
生きていることを黙ってて、本当にごめんな。
I'm really sorry I kept quiet that I was still alive.
俺のかわいいかわいい。
My
バカな弟くん。
My adorable little dummy of a brother. I'm seeing that one jerk from, Even if Tempest, right now, in him. Conrad. Yeah, that piece of shit. I'm seeing him in Jean right now. Seeing the new Jean. No. Seeing Camille. Mathis gasped in surprise.
シャンが神湯兄さん。ん？
Jean? My brother, Camille?
何言ってるの？そんな冗談ありえない
This kid's about
よ。
to go insane. What are you saying? You really shouldn't joke like that.
だって僕と兄さん、ちゃんは昔からずっと3人一緒だったじゃないか。
I mean, my brother and Jean and I. We were all together as kids.
へえ、それって誰の記憶？
Huh. Whose memory is that from?
その記憶に映っているのは本当に俺だった？
In that tiny brain of yours, was it really me in that memory? Camille continued to speak as if trying to stab him with frozen blades of ice.
そうだ、優秀なお嬢さんはその記憶の真実にもちょっと気づきかけているんじゃないか？
That's right. This brilliant young lady must have already had an idea of what's going on with your memories. I don't know anything.
へえ、本当に？こっそり監視を雇って観察してたけどな。
Oh, was that so? I did hire a few people to keep an eye on you.
すっごい偶然が重なって何人も出会ってきたんじゃないの？
No doubt you have met many people by sheer coincidence. Which means Barreau.
ああ、数年前、大事な兄を。
Okay, yeah, that. Okay, I wasn't. This was this game. Because he killed my brother a few years ago.
本当なら、俺が直接仇を取ってやりたかったんだけど、この衛兵にも逆らえないこんな貧弱な身じゃな。
I wanted to avenge his death myself. But I'm so weak I can't even stand up against the royal guard.
大事な兄をブローに殺された男。
Someone who lost his brother to Barreau? Stop.
ルイ君？ええ、もちろん覚えているわよ。
Lewis? Yes, of course I remember him.
両親に虐待されていたところを偶然私が保護してあなたに預けた男の子だったわよね。
The young boy I took in after discovering he was being abused, then relinquished custody to you. You made a horrible mistake. He got abused even more. And turned into a robot.
あれからもう10年以上経つけれど元気にしている？
Hello, Farah. Oh, it was because there was no mistypes on them. It looked fine. That's why I didn't make any comments on it. I didn't see anything. I can re-go over them, but brain is moving. Brain. Oh my god. But no, cause the memory bank was broken into years ago. Right? So that would have been Jean or Camille or whatever. And he probably would have grabbed the pieces from these particular people and put them in Mathis. He never should have let that kid go, Salome.
ええ、今はうちの臨時職員として立派に働いてくれています。
Oh wait, no. Okay, so it is part of that memory, but it's just not the actual kid. It's just so much going
た
on.
だずっと暗い地下に閉じ込められていたせいか暗所恐怖症になってしまったみたいで夜に部屋の明かりが消えると泣き叫んでしまうんです。
He seems to have a fear of dark places. When the lights go off at night, I can hear him crying.
両親に虐待を
Oh
受
no,
けて
it's
暗い地下室に閉じ込められていた
just
男
watch. Or a certain man who was locked in a dark basement abused by his parents. I don't know anything. Or a certain car driver that cannot drive.
マティスみたいな運転をする人がまさかもう一人いるなんて
Yikes. I never expected to see another driver similar to Mathis. I don't think it's similar is the right word to use. It was as though Mathis himself was at the wheel. Oh, I know we're in a hurry, but can you please slow down a...
運転に集中できないので話しかけないでください。
Please don't talk to me, I need to focus.
くそ、ブローの姿を見つけられたら車ごと突っ込んでやるのに。
Damn, I'm gonna ram this car right into Burrow the moment I see him.
車の運転がおかしいぐらいに荒い男。
Or maybe someone who recklessly drove around like a certain someone. Stop it already!
そして
Oh, and...
死神に立ち向かう男と女のロマンあふれる恋を描いた
You may know the story of a man and a woman facing death in a daring adventure.
この弟の小説とタイトルから内容まで全く同じ
A novel by Amelie
ア
Claude.
メリ・クロードの小説
With the same content and title as what my younger brother here wrote.
いやー実に不思議だな彼女が今日出会った男たちもアメリも
What a coincidence. The people you met and even this Amelie person.
まるでマティスの記憶をバラバラにして生み出された物語の登場人物みたいじゃないか
They all sound like they were taken from pieces of Mathis's memory. Like characters from a novel.
なんてな実際は
Yeah.
逆
Is Mathis even a real human being? Or is he technology? I almost want to say he's just technology. He's a robot. We're in love with a robot. Fooled you. It's actually the opposite. What are you?
ご心配なく坊ちゃんにとってこれは日課の一つですから
Don't worry, this is just a daily routine for the master. Remember when we were drying his hair? And we saw a mark on his back? That's gotta be from this. Brother! Brother! His wailing wasn't a part of him. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I'll be a good boy, so please! He looked up at his imaginary parents that only he recognized. Don't worry, I'm with you. Who was that consoling him? Anne's? Thank you, Amelie.
あなたが書いた小説だなんて最高の贈り物だわ。 大切に大切に読ませてもらうわね。
A novel that you wrote personally is the greatest gift of all. I'll read it carefully page by page.
あなたみたいな身分を超えた友人を持てたこと、私一生の誇りにするわ。
To have a friend transcending the boundaries of social status. I'll be proud of you for as long as I live. Someone was calling the person Amelie. This Amelie was very satisfied that she was able to share a novel she had spent so much time writing.
思い出したろ？お前のその記憶は。
Finally remembered, huh? That memory of yours?
たくさんの人間の記憶を組み合わせて作り上げた。いわば継ぎはぎなんだよ。
I just connected a bunch of memories from different people to form the memory you've got. The backup memory data that was stolen from the Institute. The artificial life that Scene explained was needed in order to download memories from other sources. The many people I had seen and heard who shared similar memories to what I had heard elsewhere.
いいか？お前はリライバーでもなければ純粋な人間でもない。
Listen carefully. You're not a reliver, and you're not really human either. Everything was starting to lead me to the same conclusion.
人工的な記憶と特殊な細胞を提供してくれたたくさんの女性の犠牲から生まれた。
You were born with artificial memories and cells provided by many, many women.
俺の愚かで可愛い出来損ないのホムンクルス。
You're my cute and foolish failure of a homunculus.
恋愛感情の誕生おめでとう。
Congrats on developing a sense of love. From this moment, the young man's revenge.
その感情が今度はどれだけ持つか俺に観察させてくれ。
Now then, let me observe how long that emotion of yours will last. Was we born into utter despair?